Donald Trump's running mate, JD Vance, gave a speech last night at the Republican National Convention, giving the American public some insight into the little-known Ohio senator.
We know him a little better this morning, that's for sure. Let's bring in CTV's Scott Hurst, who we know well, who's joining us live with what's ahead for the Republicans and the Democrats as well. So, Scott, let's talk about this. Day 3 of the RNC. We heard from the presumptive VP here. What's the news coming out of there?
Yeah, it really was last night all about hearing from JD Vance, as you mentioned, kind of an unknown on the national political scene first and foremost. And so last night was his chance to really introduce himself, not just to the crowd in Milwaukee, but to Americans watching far and wide. And JD Vance formally accepting the nomination to the Republican ticket, the Ohio senator getting a rock star welcome. Vance shared his life story, introducing himself to Americans after being tapped as Donald Trump's running mate just a few days ago. During the address, he talked directly about working class struggles in key battleground states multiple times. Of course, those are critically important to the Electoral College map and winning in November. Vance also criticized U.S. President Biden on his handling of the economy and foreign policy. In Republican circles, JD Vance is seen as the future of the MAGA movement, a new voice in the MAGA movement, a generational voice in that movement, while Democrats have branded him an extreme voice of the MAGA movement. Donald Trump once again made an appearance to hear his vice presidential nominee speak, and also he once again got a rock star welcome as well. We've seen him every night, which is unusual for presidential candidates. But tonight is all about him. The stage is set for Donald Trump to officially accept the Republican nomination for president. So we will hear from him tonight for the first time at this convention. And Nick and Jen, of course, for the first time since that assassination attempt on the weekend.
Okay, and Scott, yesterday news broke that U.S. President Joe Biden has COVID-19 again. How are Democrats reacting, though, to what is coming out of Milwaukee?
Well, if in Milwaukee at the RNC, it's all about unity, at least unifying behind Donald Trump. It's anything but for Democrats on that side. Really disarray as more questions emerge about the top of the ticket. And Joe Biden, as you mentioned, returning to his home in Delaware to self-isolate after testing positive for COVID-19, telling reporters he feels fine, but experiencing some mild symptoms, according to the White House. Frankly, the timing couldn't be any worse to be off the campaign trail, as we're learning more senior Democrats are calling for him to step aside, voicing their fears Biden may not only lose the White House, but also put some important seats in the House of Representatives and Senate in jeopardy. U.S. Representative Adam Schiff reportedly warning donors Biden cannot win. And also longtime Democrat leader Chuck Schumer also appearing to grow wary of Biden's ability to win in November. Nick and Jen?
Oh boy, okay, that is CTV's Scott Hurst joining us live as we continue to follow RNC Day 4 tonight. We'll hear from the former President Trump tonight. Scott, thanks so much for this. Appreciate it.